All right, let's kick this off and get to it. Head over to HQ. I guess we're just going to fast travel over there and watch Jake reunite with his daughter.
Hey, good timing. I was just getting ready to talk to Laura. Although I don't mind admitting, my nerves are starting to get the best of me. It's been so long. What if Laura... I mean, do you think she'll be happy? You know, to see me again?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You think? Oh, I hope so. Stomach's got all aflutter. Whew. Caitlin went to get Laura. She should be here any second.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, sweetheart. Look how big you've gotten. Oh, I can't believe it. Here you are.
I missed you, Dad.
I miss you too, sweetheart. More than you could ever know. Oh. Caitlin, I think we need to have some words. Figure things out. Because I can't lose Laura again. I can't let you take her away from me like you did before.
Dad? It wasn't Mom who...
Sweetheart, I want to hear everything you gotta say. But first, I need to talk to your mother. There's a lot she needs to answer for.
What do you want to talk about?
A lot of things. But mostly, why Caitlin kidnapped Laura, leaving me high and dry in Sanford.
Don't you think you're being a little selfish here?
I suppose you've got a point. I didn't mean to be so dismissive. I just... Okay, Buttercup. I'm listening. What is it you wanted to tell me?
Dad, I'm the reason we left. Mom didn't kidnap me. I asked her to take me from Sanford.
Wait, what? What are you talking about? Why would you...
Everyone there hated us. Even when I was little, they all said horrible things about you, and Mom, and me. They blamed us for what happened to Sanford. And they were right. Growing up, I just felt so bad. And whenever I asked if we could help people, help the town get better, you just ignored me. You wouldn't even listen to Mom. You just kept saying you were doing what was best for me. But that wasn't true.
Thanks for the subscribe, Gothic Gamer. That sound, like when it happens in the middle of a little heartfelt moment, I just immediately have to cover my mouth to prevent from making it worse with an outburst. All right, let's go on.
Please, go on.
You were just so angry at the town. I kept begging Mom to talk to you, convince you to buy back the water plant, fix it. But you wouldn't. It's like you wanted to watch Sanford fall apart. I hated it. Seeing people hurt. Knowing everyone hated us. Hated me. So I asked Mom to take me away. Find a new settlement where people were nice to each other. Somewhere where I wouldn't feel so bad.
I'm sure he had his reasons.
I am so sorry. I knew you were sometimes unhappy. That's why I focused my efforts on you and not Sanford. But you hit the nail right on the head. I didn't listen. I didn't want to listen.
But things are different now. I've been hearing a lot from the people who work here. About how you wouldn't give those gunner people what they wanted. Just to get me back. You didn't do it because it would have hurt the folks around you. Right?
Well, yeah, of course.
And you've been making people's lives better. Like you were saying on the radio. I know it's true. Because look at everything you've done.
And I can't take all the credit. I've had a lot of good people helping me. I couldn't have done it without them. We've built up a real fine community.
That's all I ever wanted. You to help people. Do you think maybe one day we could do all this at Sanford too?
I know we could. Come here, sweetheart. I'm so sorry I didn't listen to you.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And I let my hurt feelings
Good
cause so
camera
much
work.
trouble. But I promise, from now on, no more of that.
I'm just glad that you and your family are safe now.
And I wonder who I have to thank for helping with that. Hey, I think me, Caitlin, and Laura need to talk for a bit. And that I need to make more than a few apologies. I'll catch you later, okay? Oh, and hun, thank you for helping me get my daughter back, for helping see there's better ways of doing things, and thank you for, well, everything. Saying I love you barely does justice to how real I feel. About you, about everything you've done for me. But I truly do love you. From the bottom of my heart. I'll see you later, hon.
So for those who haven't been following the whole stream, yes, we chose the romance path. Audience demanded it. Okay, so let us see where we're at here. So that was the end of that. So I think we just need to run another assault, because I believe State of War, yeah, we're holding the Commonwealth against the Gunners. We can probably actually just sleep, and that will probably trigger the next round here. There we go.
It's Magnuson. Apologies for my sudden absence. There were circumstances beyond my control. I understand you have possession of the holotape you were sent to retrieve. Good. Victory is within our grasp. Soon we'll have constructed the supercomputer and shall have control over atomic rain. But first, a brief field trip is in order.
Will we pass the speech check?
Is something wrong?
Let's just say I was feeling unwell. But it won't be an issue again. I've implemented a number of safeguards.
Field trip?
Yes, there's information you need to be made aware of. Your partner, Jake, is waiting for you at the Museum of Freedom in Concord. Hurry over and meet with them as soon as you're able. Once you've arrived, I shall explain further.
Jake's so
Goodbye
fast.
for now.
He snuck out the other door. Bolted over. Oh, we're getting all the turrets are respawning. Hopefully I got it fixed.
Hi.
Ah, there you are.
And now he's kind of like on
Got some
top of
good
me.
news.
There we go.
With Magnuson's help, we deciphered the holotape we found in 111. We can now make more advanced ASAMs. In fact, I already built one. Saying that, and I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but between you and me, I get a little tired of all this mystery and intrigue. Sure, he's helping us, but I wish Madison would just stop drip feeding us stuff. Just tell us everything we need to know already, so we can get on with things.
That is precisely why I asked you to come here.
Oh, Doctor, I didn't realize you were, wait, how are you?
Didn't mean to startle. To make our discussion a bit less cumbersome, I've commandeered what remains of the museum's PA system. And, considering what it is I have to say, I thought this museum an appropriate venue. Now, shall we begin?
Please do.
The reason I asked you here is, well, there are certain topics I've avoided discussing or have intentionally sidestepped whenever you made mention of them. But before we go any further, these topics are things you need to know, and I believe that I can now trust you with this knowledge. So, to that end, I shall reveal to you who it is that employs the Gunners. But before that, I must explain to you about Project Selene and the Ingram tape technology the Gunners seek.
What can you tell me about this project?
Yes, Project Selene. Many saw the end of the world coming, and many made attempts to preserve something of what was, be that resources, data, people. My attempt was Project Selene, a self-sustained habitat for humanity, built upon the surface of the moon. A lunar colony! I knew I could do it. I just needed funding so I could develop the technology to pull it off. That's where Robco came in. With their financial support, I successfully developed the tech that would guide the construction of the lunar colony's complex infrastructure.
You're talking about ASAMs, aren't you? So that's what you made them for.
Yes, ASAMs. It's with Robco's backing that I was able to create them. Real ASAMs, mind you, not these phony baloney knockoffs you've been using.
What did you say?
Yes, that's right.
The moon got cut off.
Before you were born, Americans had
Guessing
already
that
set
was a
foot on its
cleverly
dusty
stitched
soil.
together line.
And even back then, they knew it offered more than just a celestial nightlight or an out-of-the-way place to store an old flag. Took 83 years, but eventually, the U.S. was ready to stake a claim, to start colonizing the moon. Unfortunately, so were the Chinese. Commie forces had invaded the lunar surface, but the good old US of A already had a team waiting for them. My team. We called it the Battle in the Sea of Tranquility. Hell of a fight. We won, of course, but it came at a price. The Space Administration had a change of heart. They deemed colonization impractical, too costly. They scrapped the project, covered everything up. That's when I decided to leave the space program, retire from the Air Force. I wasn't ready to give up. So I started Project Selene.
What happened after that?
At this point, Armageddon was still at least 2 decades away. Of course, I didn't know that at the time, but many of us suspected we didn't have long. I moved into the private sector, took whatever research jobs seemed interesting. Cryogenics, plasma-based propulsion, engramic digitization, whatever I thought might be useful for Project Selene. Eventually, once I'd compiled enough research, I brought my project proposal to Robco.
What was it like working with Robco?
Irritating, but productive. Thankfully, Robco's CEO was an old friend of mine, who just so happened to owe me a few favors. So, whenever things became too vexing, the drop of a name, a short phone call, and most things would iron themselves out. Or, so I thought. Evidently, even a CEO has a limit to how many strings they can pull, and eventually, marketing will always demand its pound of flesh. You see, Robco's board of directors weren't very happy with my altruistic effort to save a sliver of humanity. No, they wanted something they could sell. They wanted a product.
It sounds like you were really making a difference.
If events had transpired differently, perhaps I could have made a difference. However, before I could even construct a rocket to launch the first payload of ASAMs to the lunar surface, Robco double-crossed me. They cut my funding, took the ASAMs, and kicked me to the curb. Cut adrift, and with time against me, I sought salvation from a devil. In order to salvage Project Selene, I made a deal with Vault-Tec. They got my project back on track and facilitated the production of the Ingram tapes.
Can you tell me more about this technology?
The Ingram tapes were my answer to managing something as sophisticated as my Project Selene. Initially, I tried using computers for the task, but they lacked the ability to solve problems creatively. After that, I tried robots, but operating individually, they simply weren't clever enough. And when networked, their personalities became unstable. So in the end, I settled on using an AI. It presented the best option, and lacked the drawbacks of the previous methods.
Hold on, AI? As in an artificial intelligence? You sure don't half-ass things, do you?
I needed the best, which is why I constructed the AI using a copy of my own mind. It took some time, but everything I am was copied and downloaded to 5 tapes. These were the Ingram tapes.
How'd you do that?
Thankfully, the technology to copy one's mind was already available. Not that it was easy to come by, but it helps to know the right people. Still, the process was experimental and wasn't always gentle to the user. A number of people had passed away undergoing the procedure. Well, I wasn't feeling quite ready to have my brain fried, so I did what I could to improve the hardware. And I'm pleased to say I did a rather good job. And so, my brain was copied. Most people's Ingrams fit into a single tape. Those performing the procedure thought mine might fit into 2. I said at least 4. But in the end, it was 5. It seems at times even I underestimate the utter brilliance of my mind.
Someone's a little full of himself.
I'm going to overlook that comment, but only because I need you to understand how important these tapes are. Why they'd be so valuable to someone like the gunner's employer. You see, collectively, the Ingram tapes hold the total sum of my experiences, knowledge, and personality. They're a virtual treasure trove of information. And as if that were not enough, the tapes are also the key to the operation of Project Selene.
Who are the gunners working for?
Would it surprise you to learn that you've already met them? They're the ones who came to my rescue when Robco stabbed me in the back. They offered you and your family the chance to survive nuclear annihilation. Yes, that's right. The gunners, they work for Vault-Tec.
Are you crazy? Do you even know what year it is?
I'd appreciate it if you'd abstain from questioning my sanity, and I will state it again. The gunners work for Vault-Tec. Or had you naively thought Vault-Tec gone, believed they had simply laid back and allowed themselves to be destroyed when the bombs fell?
But Vault-Tec? How is that even... I mean, where have they been all this time? I never seen them around anywhere. How could they have survived?
You want to know where Vault-Tec is? Look to the memorial in front of you, or better yet, just look up at the night sky. Vault-Tec provided me everything I needed to bring Project Selene to fruition, also that they could snatch it away for themselves. And so, for 2 whole centuries, Vault-Tec have been hiding themselves away, safe and sound, in my lunar colony.
You sure about that?
Vault-Tec approached me claiming they wanted their own version of ASAM technology and promised to fund Project Selene in exchange. This was all under the table, mind you. Officially speaking, Vault-Tec knew nothing of my project. But Madison, the one who arranged it all, she knew. She knew everything I was doing. I trusted her, and she used that trust to hijack my project. But they didn't hijack everything. My time with Robco taught me valuable lessons. This time, I ensured certain avenues remained open to me. Even without the comm hub, I was able to at least somewhat monitor Luna Colony. Was able to see what those bastards were up to.
Why are you only just telling me about this now?
Because I didn't know if I could trust you. Or how you'd react when you learned the truth. And, to be quite blunt, until now you didn't really need to know. There are times that certain knowledge only serves to muddy the waters.
I guess it does make sense.
I appreciate you being receptive. It'll make what's to come less difficult.
Okay, I can accept that the gunners are working for Vault-Tec. But back in 111, you said the gunners were hired to locate, secure, and then deliver engram tapes to their employer. Now, I know you said they're important, but there's gotta be more to it. If Vault-Tec already has a whole lunar colony, why are they making the gunners tear apart the Commonwealth? In order to find a bunch of tapes?
Because Luna Colony needs the Ingram tapes in order to function. Without the tapes to regulate and sustain its systems, the colony is on the brink of catastrophic system failure. I'll admit, I'm at a loss as to how Vault-Tec has kept things running for as long as they have, but their time is up. Luna Colony has begun its collapse. And without the means to return to Earth, if Luna Colony perishes, so will Vault-Tec. That is why they are so eager to acquire those tapes.
How do you know what their goals are?
I've been able to tap into communications from both Vault-Tec and the Gunners for quite some time now. And whilst I don't overhear everything, I've heard enough to piece the situation together.
Why can't they just leave?
They can't leave, because I didn't design Luna Colony with the means to do so. It was intended to be a one-way trip, and evidently Vault-Tec didn't bring anyone with them who possesses enough brain cells to construct their own means of escape. Bet they regret leaving me behind now.
That's a lot to process.
I know you and Vault-Tec have history, Doc, but are they really our enemy? I mean, it's been the Gunners who've...
The Gunners are following orders from Vault-Tec. Ultimately, Vault-Tec are responsible for this war, and make no mistake, they are your enemy. Listen, the reason I've told you all this is not to scare you, but so you can fully comprehend what you're up against. You've become a potent hindrance to the Gunners and their employer. The Gunners have already located 4 of the Ingram tapes, and if you thought this war you found yourself in was bad now, if Vault-Tec get their hands on all 5 tapes, they'll have all they need to ensure you never hinder them again. That is why it's imperative we use atomic rain as soon as we can. Wipe the Gunners out before they have a chance to fulfill their contract. It's the only way to guarantee the safety of yourself and the Commonwealth.
Come on, Doctor. You're taking it more personally than that.
I keep forgetting how perceptive you are. Yes, you are correct. The scope of my motivations goes beyond the well-being of you or the Commonwealth. This is personal. Vault-Tec took something from me. And they threaten to take away a lot more if they're not stopped. That is why the moment for us to strike is now. For the sake of everyone, we must bring this crisis to an end.
Don't worry, Doc. We hear you. When it comes to ending this war, we're all on the same page.
We've spoken long enough. It's time for you to move out.
What do I need to do?
Proceed to the USAF station where you found the comm hub, and then I'll direct you in the assembly of the supercomputer. Magnuson out.
Huh. Guess that's the history lesson over with. Still, Vault-Tec. Did not see that coming. But does kind of make sense, if it's true.
What do you think?
As crazy as it all sounds, everything Madison said does seem to add up. Could be everything you said was 100% sincere. Or he might just be a master of deception.
He's probably telling the truth, but you never can tell.
Anyway, looks like Madison wants us to go to Olivia. Come on, let's go get this computer built. Lead on and I'll follow.
Okay, well, off we go.
Hostiles inside. We need to take them out.
I'm not seeing any raiders, Jake. I think you're confused. Oh, there's one. Oh, wait, it was going to let me loot whatever that was. Okay.
Magnuson here. You should be at Olivia by now. I trust all is well.
Yeah, everything's fine, Doc. We're good to go. So this is where we're building the computer, right? To hijack atomic rain?
Yes, that's right. We'll be utilizing Olivia's satellite dish. Before the war, I dispatched the comm hub here for similar reasons. Regrettably, the bombs fell before the hub could be connected. But let us not fixate on past failures. Instead, we should focus on assembling the supercomputer. That is, if your chief is ready.
Let's go.
Let's get this thing built.
Indeed. Let's get started. Mr. Evans, you brought the enhanced ASAM I requested you fabricate, correct?
Yeah, got it right here.
Good. Now, this may be a tad more complicated than you're accustomed to. Nonetheless, I'll guide you as best as I can. First, take the improved ASAM and position it on a nearby surface. The sensor should then scan the vicinity. for equipment and materials we can utilize.
This sure brings back memories. Here, catch. Seems only right you should be the one to do the honors.
There we go. And now this actually... I updated the description of this now that the functionality's in after the Weapons of Mass Destruction patch. Though there, at this point, if you're here in the story, you don't actually have any architectural marvels available unless add-on packs have added them. Do you guys notice any add-on pack updated or released that has marvels? I know I haven't noticed any, but maybe they've happened since I made the last news video. And it's also, I don't usually like track all the updates people have done. I keep track of new things that come out. I don't know if anybody's released one yet, but at this point you would be able to use marvels added in by add-on packs, and then the one that we include isn't extended and it comes after the end of the story.
I'd appreciate if you didn't toss around the delicate equipment.
Oh, go ahead. Put the ASM down on that desk there. Seems the best place for it. When you're ready, just place the ASM on that desk.
Everything full circle.
Now, pay close attention, adhere to my instructions, and we'll have this supercomputer built in no time at all.
That's the plot they made. Awesome.
Hold
Sure,
on.
Captain worked on it.
Quite get this corded. There. One satellite controlling supercomputer made to order. I think we're done. Whew. That was definitely more complicated than using a regular ASAM. But still, surprisingly simple. Madison sure came up with something special when he invented ASAMs. They really do allow you to build some miraculous things.
Amris, I assume the Enclave are set up as a faction because the AR2 has... Yeah, and that makes sense because I'm pretty sure Adelino did the Enclave Creation Club thing too.
Obviously, the man was brilliant to come up with something like this.
Speaking of, we were meant to contact the doctor when we were done working on the computer. He said there's still one thing left to do. But before that, I was wondering if we could take a moment to talk.
All right, let's hear it.
Well, it kind of feels we're coming to the end of things. Don't you think? Once we turn this computer on, one way or another, the war's gonna soon be over. I suppose I was just thinking, knowing what you know now, if you had the chance to go back to when we first met, would you do it all again? You know, ASAMs, settlements, taking on the gunners, forming our own group. Putting up with Aiden. Knowing how hard it's been. Would you still choose to do it all?
Where's the no regrets button?
I wouldn't have it any other way.
I suppose that's why you're the one in charge. If only we could all have your level of self-assurance. But you know what? Asking myself the same question, I think I would do it all again. And not just because of Laura, but because I've realized the hard times, they're what reveals the kind of person you really are. And if it turns out you don't like what you're seeing in the mirror, well, now you've got a chance to change that.
The ability to change and adapt is a fundamental part of being human.
Yeah, I think so too. I came to the Commonwealth to find my kid, but I ended up finding a heck of a lot more. I found good people, a group that I care about, a cause worth fighting for, and I found myself. All because of the hard times. And also, I found someone to love too. So, yeah. Yeah, I think I would do it all again. Sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent there, didn't I? But I meant every word of it. Anyway, let's get back to the matter at hand, shall we?
Sure thing.
All right. Time to let Magnuson know what we're up to. That radio on the desk there should be linked to the doc's comm frequency. Use it to let him know we're ready to continue.
You finished assembling the supercomputer, yes? But a few more steps, and atomic rain will be under our command, and the gunners will bother you no more.
What happens to Vault-Tec after this?
Well, once the gunners have been removed, if all goes to plan, without possession of all the Ingram tapes, Luna Colony's systems will continue to deteriorate until they can no longer sustain human life. At that point, whatever constitutes Vault-Tec these days will perish, and the threat they pose will die with them.
Everything is in place. It's ready to go when we are.
Excellent. There's only one thing left to do. The supercomputer must be linked to the comm hub, or array, as you now call it.
That might be a problem, Doc. You see, the comm array ain't exactly as portable as it used to be. I'm not sure we could get it here.
I know that. Did you think the use of an ASAM sensor in building the supercomputer was solely for ease of construction?
Oh, he's waiting for me.
Physical relocation of the array will not be necessary. The supercomputer's integrated ASAM will enable remote connection.
Oh, of course.
The subtitle stuck
Right.
down there. Ah, yes, hello.
Why didn't I think of that?
Once the array is linked, I'll be able to broadcast atomic rain's access codes from my lab to the comm array. The codes will then be decrypted by the supercomputer before being relayed via Olivia's transmitter to the atomic rain satellites themselves. And then we'll finally have access to atomic rain's nuclear arsenal.
Oh.
Can you tell me more about this technology?
The atomic rain program was a project of mine, before Celine, when I still held the misconception that a nuclear holocaust could be averted. I'd wager the only satellites still functioning are the ones I built and sent to orbit myself. The project was an unmitigated disaster.
What do you need it for?
I designed and built the first batch of atomic rain satellites. The foundation for the technology was based on a precursor to ASAM tech. Consequently, the comm array is uniquely compatible with the satellites, able to send and receive the necessary ELF signals. With a little help and a few decryption algorithms provided by the supercomputer, that is.
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Very well. I shall initiate the link-up procedure. First, I'll establish a direct radio connection between my lab's mainframe and the comm array. There we are. Next, linking the array to the supercomputer. And it is done. Verifying connection stability and... Hello? What is this?
That doesn't sound good. What is it?
That noise. We shouldn't be hearing that. It's the ASAM boot-up frequency. It's a dummy broadcast, used only during initialization. It calculates the position of all ASAMs and any connected radio... signals. Oh no. The comm array! Have you made any modifications to it recently? Answer me!
No. I mean, when we found the hub, we made some repairs, swapped out a few components. Then we rebuilt it into the comm array. Maybe installed an upgrade or two, but nothing recent, nothing you don't already know about.
Software! Have you installed any new software?
No, nothing. The only thing recently was a holotape recording from the gunners, but I checked it. It was clean. It was just a recording.
A recording alone wouldn't trigger this kind of behavior. Unless... the parts used to repair the comm hub. Where did they come from?
The Commonwealth Regional Headquarters for, Vault-Tec. They had this basement there, and, it was full of...
Vault-Tec! Of course! You used parts from their comm hub facsimile, didn't you? That explains how they did it.
Tell me what's going on.
The comm array. It's been bugged by the gunners. They've likely been monitoring our conversations ever since you inserted that holotape.
Are you in danger?
That is a distinct possibility. I just connected my laboratory's mainframe to the bugged comm array. If the gunners are even half awake, they'll have traced my radio signal by now, pinpointing my exact location. I may be in considerable danger.
Okay, that's not good. But maybe the gunners weren't paying attention. You could still intercept their communications, right? Find out what they know?
Yes, I'm already working on it. Stand by. I'm patching us in.
It's Alpha Golf. Ready, con. Notify Captain Lamont. Magnuson's position has been... Final engram tape location confirmed. Case Quincy. Repeat. Quincy. Troops ready to...
Blast it all! The gunners, Vault-Tec, they've discovered my whereabouts. They know I'm in Quincy, and they know I possess the last Ingram tape. I don't know how they found out, but they know I have it, and they're coming to take it. You must help me.
Why didn't you tell us before?
Perhaps I should have told you, but it wouldn't have made a difference, besides maybe hastening the gunners' arrival. Understand, it wasn't a lack of trust in you, but instead the crucial need to keep the Ingram tape's location hidden.
Did you say Quincy?
Yes, Quincy, and that's as much as I'll disclose right now, given the current circumstances.
Of course I'll help you.
Dr. Magnuson, transmit the atomic rain launch codes, and we could hit the gunners before...
Don't you understand? It's too late for that. I'd bet 8 of my 12 PhDs they're listening to this very conversation. I can't risk transmission. Even if we use atomic rain to destroy the gunners, by transmitting the access codes, we'd just be handing them over to Vault-Tec. And with those codes, they're more than capable of commandeering atomic rain for themselves. And they'd use those satellites to destroy us out of pure spite.
Then, what do we do? How do we stop them?
I say we attack.
Hey, but that's what we're already trying to do.
Listen, we can't use atomic rain, but you also cannot allow the gunners to get their hands on the last Ingram tape. If they deliver it to their employer, the entire sum of my knowledge would be at their disposal, and that includes the atomic rain launch codes. For the sake of me, yourself, the Commonwealth, and dare I say the entirety of mankind, you must stop them.
No pressure, huh?
A lot of lives are depending on us.
I have a plan, but our line of communication is no longer secure. Return to your headquarters, and I will find a way to instruct you further. Magnuson, out!
Come on, let's head back to HQ.
Okay, let's roll. It's time for the big fight. And I think I've got just about every ally we could want, so we should be able to ace this battle. I am ready. Let's go.
Good. You've arrived.
We know what's going on. Magnuson made contact. Well, kinda made contact. The good thing, too. We're already seeing gunners moving on Quincy.
Contact. How?
Dr. Magnuson transmitted some kind of signal which caused the comm array to explode. A rather crude message, but it certainly grabbed our attention.
Oh no, not again.
All right, I may have exaggerated for effect, but the transmission did blow out several of the array's components.
It forced us offline. But after some emergency repairs and workarounds, we got most things running again. And then this message started playing.
I must apologize for broadcasting this data burst. It's at the very limit of what the comm array's hardware can process. As such, receiving this message will damage the array. But it is vital that you obtain the data I am sending. It may take some time for our communications to be re-established, but until then, you must begin an offensive on the settlement of Quincy right away. I am housed in a lab beneath the surface of this town, and now that the gunners know I'm here, it won't take long for them to reach me. You must not let this happen. You cannot allow them to take the Ingram tape. Now, listen. I formulated a plan for your offensive. First, you'll need
This next part, we had a little trouble decrypting. Probably because of the damage to the array. Some of the message is missing.
So you know about Vault-Tec.
Yeah, we know. Every time Magnuson contacted you, we heard it through the array, so we know everything.
And it was fortunate we did. It let us begin prepping the moment we noticed things were going down the shitter.
Okay, let's hear it.
This data must be downloaded to the holotape you recovered from Vault 111 before you attack Quincy. The plan will not work without it. I regret not always being forthright with you. But I am now prepared to confide in you fully, to reveal all. Defeat the Gunners, secure the Ingram tape, and I'll reward you with everything I have the capability to offer. And if for reasons beyond my control, we do not speak again, know that outside of a few minor annoyances, it has been a pleasure. Magnuson out.
Stupid lab in Quincy. What kind of option is that?
He needs our help.
That's it. That's everything we were able to retrieve. We tried contacting the doctor, but the array, it's still badly damaged.
What's this data the doc was talking about?
Oh, yes. The message included some kind of computer code. We downloaded it to the holotape as instructed.
Despite the gap in the message, the code we received seems whole and perfectly viable.
But we have no idea what it is or what it's for.
The holotape. What's on it?
The holotape you recovered contains data on Dr. Magnuson's inventions, including the instructions for building the enhanced ASAM.
Nevertheless, a significant amount of information on the tape remains encrypted. And what Dr. Magnuson had us download to it is anyone's guess.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll work.
Right. The doc wouldn't have sent us something if it weren't important.
Regrettably, due to the corrupted message, there's no way to know Dr. Magnuson's plans for assaulting Quincy.
So instead, we've put together a plan of our own. Only, with such short notice, we're probably gonna need some outside help to pull it off.
We'll be calling on every friend we've made out there, but I think we have enough support to do this.
You've got my attention. As I understand it, this Engram tape is the Gunners' endgame. Once they have it, they win, and we lose.
So obviously we need to secure Quincy, and find Magnuson's lab as fast as possible.
But reports indicate Gunners have already overrun the town, and we can expect a lot more on the way.
Let's hear this plan of yours.
The strategy we've devised, first, aims to reduce the number of Gunners currently occupying Quincy, and then, to mitigate the eventual retaliation. To start, we deploy a strike team to attack Quincy from the north. We make it seem like this is our main offensive, but in reality, it's merely a diversion. With the strike team preoccupying the Gunners, a second team will cut a path from the HQ to Quincy's main entrance.
That'll be the defense team. They'll stop any Gunners from reaching the HQ, and secure the route to Quincy, ensuring a steady flow of our troops can enter. After that, our focus shifts to eliminating any Gunners remaining in Quincy, and finding Magnuson's lab before any more show up.
What about that second part of this plan? You said something about mitigation.
Mitigating the Gunners' ability to fight back is partially what the defense team will be doing. But there are more avenues we can pursue.
Like what?
Well, this is where that outside help I mentioned comes into play. We ain't got the capacity to do everything ourselves. Well, we do, but we'd make a real sloppy job of things if we tried. But if we had enough people backing us up...
Then we'd be able to delegate additional roles to support the assault, such as making use of dedicated technicians to disable or even sabotage some of the Gunners' technology. Not to mention the possibility of artillery. Range attacks on incoming Gunners would thin their numbers, reducing reinforcements.
We also discussed the use of infiltration.
Oh, we got Wise
Never
over there.
underestimate the advantage unlocked doors and hacked terminals can provide.
Air support was also considered. In situations like this, having someone friendly in the sky would certainly help.
And last, but definitely not least, having reliable mission support would greatly improve our odds. After all, effective coordination is the key to success.
But, like I said, we ain't got the capacity to do a good job of all those things ourselves. We need help.
Makes sense.
Thankfully, since the Gunners first invaded, we've kept in close contact with our allies. And they've already agreed to help us however they can.
Thanks to your efforts, we have enough allies for every role. So you'll have to decide which group is best suited to each task.
From the strike team to mission support, each task requires singular focus. So ideally, that means one group assigned to each role. Otherwise, performance is gonna suffer. Not to mention, some of our allies may lack the manpower to handle more than one thing. So just try to avoid any double dipping, okay?
Let's get started then.
We made contact with our allies before you arrived. They'll be sending representatives. I imagine they'll be arriving here soon.
Until then, the HQ's on temporary lockdown.
After the meeting, take some time to prep yourself. Maybe gather any gear you'll need for the assault. You might even be able to sneak in a nap if you need it. Once you're ready, just take your seat at the table. And as soon as our allies get here, I'll send them up to the meeting room.
All right, everyone. We can do this. I got faith in each and every one of you. Even Aiden. Let's do this. For the Commonwealth. And for everyone else as well.
Yeah, everybody popping up into the cell.
Hey, Chief.
Let's
It's
see who's
time.
all here.
Everyone who's gonna show has arrived.
Quite the collection. We might just pull this off.
Everyone here has agreed
Let's
to
take it,
assist
get the
with the
Ron.
battle.
Get Diamond City.
Although, some with a caveat or two.
The Nightingales are here to help, but will decline any role that requires excessive bloodshed. We are, after all, physicians, not soldiers.
NLTC won't be doing anything direct, but it's why I'm here. They're offering to subcontract my company to you. Hell, my boys and I are always up for a good war. It's gonna run you 10,000 caps, though. The princess authorized a discount, too. Lucky you.
You sure I can't get you to drop some more caps off the price?
Fine, fine. But only because I actually want to be here. I'll cover some out of my own pocket. It'll still run you 8,000 caps. That's as far as my enthusiasm goes.
Fine. Here's your caps.
Well, with all that out of the way, let's get to it, shall we?
Everyone who's gonna show is here. We're ready to do this.
Okay, there's our institute. Is Janice here? Did we get him to show up, or did I forget to do his meeting? I don't remember where he stands. Oh, there he is. Okay, cool. We got everybody. Yeah, let's have him read them all off.
Is everyone here?
Well,
Berman in the back there.
There's us, and those who have joined our group. Then we have Elder Maxon and Scribe Stevens, representing the Brotherhood.
And we have the Institute survivors, represented by Mr. Gallister. And also, Janice, speaking for what remains of the railroad.
Naturally, Fiona is here to stand for the Nightingales.
Oh, and how can we forget young Simon, our reliable local CPD officer?
There's Miss Proudmore of the NLTC, escorted by Allison. And that's it. At least for the heavy hitters.
The others?
The coolest mayor to grace the Commonwealth.
Oh,
Ron is here
Ron lost
speaking
his
for Diamond City.
sunglasses.
Oh, yeah.
Father Edmund
That's
is
a bug,
here
too.
for the people of Concord.
And that's everyone.
Anyone else?
Well, as Salvador mentioned, there are also those who've integrated into our own group, such as Sickle and his band of super mutants, Berman, of course, Weiss, ex-gunner agent,
and that really is everyone.
There we go. And so, like, there's some of those people where you have like the smaller individuals, like Berman and Wise and stuff. You can use them, and they act as like strike leaders.
I have full confidence in the abilities
There's going to be a
of everyone
bloodbath.
here.
Was one of the options.
I'm sure everyone already knows that. After all, you're the reason they're here.
There's no need for further discussion. Everyone here knows the plan, and what's at stake. It's time to decide each group's role in the assault. Remember, not every group is well suited to each task, and some groups lack the size to accept more than one role. So choose wisely. All right. First up, who here should lead our strike team?
Okay, and I am going to assign everybody. So if you let Salvador pick them, he picks like somebody who's like average at everything. So if you want to have the best reactions, and a lot of this stuff plays out. So when you're playing through and picking these factions, and then you play through the battle, depending on who you pick, different things will happen. Now, I will say that in the end, it only has a minor impact on the way the battle plays out and some of the quests play out. But the long term, our intention is to make it so that there's consequences, so you lose some of your allies if you fail it. We just haven't put that in because we knew that when we launched Chapter 3, it was very likely there were going to be some bugs with this stuff, so we don't want to have consequences for buggy things. So one day we'll have a patch that's like adds consequences to things, but not until we're confident that all the current bugs are all sorted out before we do anything like that. But that's the plan. Okay, so now it's going to give me action for the strike team. So the strike team, the best people to put in charge of that are Berman, who will take your HQ squad and lead them. Let's see here. NLTC mercs are considered specialists. And I think that's it for the ones that we have included right now. We have some other, there's like we have this giant chart of like potential future factions what we might do. But so we can choose either Berman or NLTC. I'm going to use NLTC because we just paid for them. I do kind of want to see Berman in though, so teams. Yeah, let's do Berman just because we went through all the trouble to keep him around.
Berman, Sickle, happy to see
Interesting.
you. Now that's what I'm talking about.
That's your pick, huh? Are you sure that's who you want for the strike team?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Very well. Now, who should take charge of defense?
All right, so when we get to defense, let me see our list of... So the people who are best at defense are Sickle and his super mutants, and the NLTC mercs. So, oh, I'm torn there. I think I'm going to use super mutants just because I love having Sickle around. So it'll be fun to march onto Quincy with the super mutants. I think we're going to go with Sickle there.
Hey, this makes us strong.
If you ever want to hang out
Ron.
in the dugout sometime,
That's your
let me
pick, huh?
know.
Thanks, Ron.
Are you certain that's your pick to defend our troops and the HQ?
I've made my choice.
Of course. It's your call.
Okay, who's up next?
What about the
Tech.
gunner's tech? Who should deal with that?
All right, let's do Remnants.
For some time. Perhaps
Okay.
you should stop by soon.
I'm confident that this will help us maintain a technological edge.
The Institute. Are you positive that's who you want to handle this?
Positive.
Yeah, they've got this.
As you would have it. Next, who should be on artillery?
Can get you far.
All right,
I think it's certainly worth a try.
the CPD. You are sure that's who you want on the guns?
I think so.
Understood. Now we come to infiltration. Is there anyone you think would be well suited to the task?
We could use the, let's see, I think there's another, Wise acts as a backup specialist, so we'll use Wise. He's our infiltration guy, so we'll go ahead and give that to him. And then anytime you choose Berman or Wise, they just take a contingent of your HQ folks.
Fascinatingly
right.
uneconomical.
Nice. Work smart, not hard.
That's your pick,
And
huh?
Wise is actually,
You think
can be
they're
pretty
up to the
interesting
challenge?
too. His has got like some layers to it.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
Okay, we can go with them. Have you given any thought to who can provide air support?
Obviously, the Brotherhood.
No matter what Cassandra tells you, her T's...
Okay. The Brotherhood is the absolute best pick here. So we'll go ahead and do that.
are not magical and will not enlarge anything.
Victorium.
People will believe anything these
The
days.
Brotherhood.
I don't
Do
know
you
why
stand firm in your
the
choice?
idols are not disabled. We have them flagged to be disabled, but apparently the game has other ideas. So yeah, of course,
Yes.
Brotherhood.
Right. I'll trust your judgment. The last thing to consider is who should take care of mission support.
And this one, we kind of give you a clue who the best one is, and that is because Cassandra brings it up. The Nightingales are your actually best choice for mission support. What you guys were intended to do is ask for opinions. So I'll show you here. So that, because obviously you guys wouldn't know all these things that I
doing the
know
right
necessarily.
thing
Some
here.
of them are obvious, like
The
right, like
Nightingales.
the Brotherhood. Obviously, they're
Is
going to be best
this
choice for
something
air
they can
support.
handle?
Minutemen best choice for artillery, but some of the others are kind of a little bit subjective. Like, so you can ask the opinion from Salvador.
What do you think?
Tell you
They're
if
probably our best option.
he'll at least tell you if you made a terrible pick or a decent pick before you confirm it. So if he'll tell you straight up, like, nope, they're not good at that. So if you wanted to, you could just like go through one at a time and pick them and ask him for their opinion if you weren't sure at all and you really wanted to get a good result. But
I guess we'll see.
Indeed we will.
With everyone aware of their duties, before leaving, I'll ensure they have all that's needed to perform their roles as effectively as possible.
Say, Now that we got a strike team picked, we're gonna need to get things prepped for him. I think we'll need your help on this one, Chief. Me, Aiden, and Sal will wait outside. Come find us as soon as you're ready.
In the meantime, the rest of us will continue repairing the comm array, recovering more of Magnuson's message, and attempting to re-establish contact with the doctor.
All right, then. We all know what we're doing. Good luck, everyone.
What smell?
Oh, Sir Rick just informed me I missed one of the best options. Mission support. I could have had the Ron on there, and I totally screwed the pooch on that. Oh, well. Next time. Now we've got to meet everyone outside. Okay, now here's the option. Now, so here's the current point we have set up where you can take a moment and, you know, sleep and gather up your gear and go use the labs or whatever. But we're just going to go for it. I'm in pretty good shape here. So there's a secondary little thing that happens under the hood. If you choose Brotherhood, Institute, or Railroad, or Minutemen for any job, we have them ranked based on like how spectacular their support looks, and then like we give you that one. So like Brotherhood tends to be the one that has the flashiest thing because they've got flying vertibirds, they've got well, I'll show you guys, but we're gonna get a lot of Brotherhood showing up because they have the most visual interest, and I think second most is Institute, then Minutemen, then fourth is Railroad. Railroad is really like the weakest faction. I think everyone would agree with that based on their specialties.
So, what's our situation?
I think it's safe to assume each team is busy making
I
preparations
keep seeing
for the attack.
Teresa from afar and thinking it's
Well, apart
Mansfield
from the
because of the outfit
infiltration
problem.
team. They left for Quincy a few minutes ago.
Speaking of preparation, we still need to secure locations for the strike team's diversion.
I've been thinking about that. There's an old military checkpoint just down the road from Quincy. Last I heard, it was under gunner control. If we took it, not only would it draw the gunners' attention, but it offers an ideal launching point for the strike team.
What do you say, Chief? Ready to lead some troops to secure the checkpoint?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
The military checkpoint's a solid option, but we still require a secondary location to observe the gunners' response to the strike team's efforts.
What about Hyde Park? If you don't mind getting your boots a little wet, it'll give us a good vantage point, and it's got some decent cover.
And that's what we'll do. Chief, you'll need to lead a squad to capture the South Boston military checkpoint, and then double back to secure Hyde Park before returning to HQ. Once you've done that, we can begin the assault on Quincy.
You can trust me with this. I'll get it done.
We know that. After all, you're our chief.
We've set up a command table that you can use to organize the troops.
While you're busy out in the field, we'll get everything ready here. Good luck, Chief.
Okay. And yep. Colin, has the fate of the original Magnuson ever been revealed? I know it's been teased. I would almost guarantee that Sir Rick has an idea in his head of what happens, but I don't think there's any way to find it out currently. There's also something that we have on our to-do list. Sir Rick, I don't know if you have it all written or not, but we also have, Magnuson mentions that there's supposed to be a terminal with extra information below his monitor, and I know we never actually put that in the game. So like, I've seen a lot of people scream it, and they're like, what terminal? I can't activate anything. It's because I never got plugged in yet. And maybe that's supposed to reveal some of that, I'm not sure. Freaking tanks. Whew. Battle before the battle here. There we go. Alright, did we lose anybody? Other than the one guy that I totally took out with a grenade. Just the one death. Nice. Okay, now we get the call for the
South
second
Boston
assault.
checkpoint is under our control. Leave behind a detachment of troops and proceed to Hyde Park. Over and out.
Okay, let's do it. It's beautiful. Good work, guys. I still think we'll get S rank. Yeah. Only 2. Alright, not bad, not bad.
With Hyde Park secured, we can monitor the strike team and receive live reports on their progress. Return to headquarters. It's time to take Quincy.
Hell yeah. Alright. Finally got to the Battle of Quincy. But I think that's a good place to stop for tonight. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to call it a night, and I'll be back on Wednesday.